All right, how are you? Hare
Good.
Krishna.
How are you?
Hare Krishna, Dikra.
It feels weird not coming to Murfreesboro. 2 weeks now since I've been.
I know.
It's weird.
Even though we don't see you guys in those 2 weeks, but it still feels sad. Okay,
Not
you can't come.
because it's like I can't come home. Maybe next week and hopefully I can come then.
Right.
He just needs to keep taking rest. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Krishna's mercy.
Yeah.
Okay,
And did he let you know about the cards that they have for the DDs? The brand?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Shreyu Bijari looks at them and she says, Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. She wakes up, she'll touch her face and then say, Coco, 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 Coco. She wants to see pictures of DDs as soon as she wakes up. And then she said, Coco.
That's so wonderful.
And she knows how on Instagram to like pictures. So then she scrolls, taps which ones she likes, scrolls, taps.
My goodness. Oh my God. Oh my God. My nephew couldn't say girl, he used to say dot. Oh my God.
And then she tells me, oh no, oh no, oh no, Manju, oh no. Oh no, Manju.
Oh. Anyway.
She told me when I was leaving, as I was getting in the Uber to leave, she yells from the balcony to me, "Lie you!" And then she told Shruti, no, Manju, no.
Don't go.
Yeah, they're my babies.
Yeah.
My baby girls.
Yeah.
Right.
Yesterday, that Radhika's little sister also did very nice kirtan. You know how nicely she was singing away. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like art.
Yeah. Anyway, so we shall see you soon in a minute or two.
Sounds good.
Okay. Take care, Dika. Hare Krishna.
Chacha ji.
I mean, maybe he doesn't even know about me. Maybe he doesn't know about me.
Hi, Dad.
Veda.
I muted your computer, so it's good.
Okay.
Now I just connecting to audio. I sent Raj the YouTube link. I started it.
शशि तुमने कॉल किया थोड़ी देर पहले.
No, Chacha ji's audio is not connected yet, so he can't hear you. Chacha ji, you there?
नहीं. इससे फोन पे.
Hi, Daddy.
कुछ नहीं. शशि तुमने थोड़ी देर पहले फोन किया था. ऑडियो नहीं लगेगा. Okay.
He's connecting to audio now, Daddy.
Okay, what time it is that?
We have a few minutes, 3 minutes. Ramgiri Dari Prabhu message that hi Chacha ji. Ramgiri Dari Prabhu message that he'll have to sing. He'll have to switch with Tanu Prabhu. He told Tanu Prabhu too because he has to do some rituals for his dad, so he'll be a little late today. But if he's not able to, then Bhaiya will have to sing and he'll sing tomorrow.
Tanika Prabhu is not here yet.
Yeah, but he knows. Prabhu messaged him too.
Okay, neither Abhishek nor Tanika Prabhu
Yeah, we still have 2 minutes though.
ये
Hare, Jajaji just has audio now.
ये तुमने मुझे फोन किया थोड़ी देर पहले?
नहीं,
मजा आता है तो गलती से हो गया, वैसे हो जाता है मुझसे भी। ठीक है।
Jajaji, where are you?
I'm in Allahabad, Prayagraj. Today I'm going to the Noida.
Oh, nice.
High Court is closed for a week.
Oh, yeah? Well, be nice. And Dika Prabhu, you lead the kirtan since Ramgiri Dari Prabhu will have to switch with you?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect, Prabhu. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and mute everybody. Taran Prabhu, you'll have to unmute yourself immediately, so that way we can get started since it is now 7:30. Okay, Tanvika Prabhu, if you can unmute.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Ramgiridhar Prabhu, if you want to switch, I'm fine with that. Namaste.
Up to you, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji, yeah, you lead, please.
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jai Radha Natavar Radhe,
Jaya Radha Natavara Radhe.
Jaya Gaur Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai.
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol.
Harinam Sankirtan Mahajagya ki jai, कलयुग धर्म हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। श्री श्री राधा नटवर भगवान की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा।
Thank you, Prabhu. Nandavika Prabhu, it's your turn to lead Yashamati Nandan.
Yes, Prabhuji. Is Sridhar in the line?
Sridhar or Sriman?
Yes, Sridhar
Sriman.
is here.
Sridhar,
Just a second,
Sridhar,
Prabhu.
could you be my responder, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Yashomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Yasomati Nandana Brajabara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Yashomati Nandana Brajavara Nagara Gokula Ranjana Kana
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara
Gopi Paranadana Madhana Manohara
Kaliya Tamana Vidana
Taliya Damana Vidana
Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa
Amala Harinam Amiya Virasa
Amala Harina Mamiya Vilasa
Amala Harinam Amiya Virasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsi Vadana Suvasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Bansi Badana Suasa
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vamsi Vadana Suvasa
Vansi Vipina Purandara Navina Nagara Bara Vansi Vadana Suasa
Rajajana Palana Surakula Nasana
Rajajana Palana Surakulana Sana
Rajajana Palana Surakula Nasana
Rajajana Palana Surakulana Sana
Nanda Godana Raghuvala
Nanda Godana Rakhovala
Nanda Godana Raghuvala
Nanda Godana Rakhovala
Govinda Madhava Navanida Taskara
Govinda Madhava Navnida Taskara
Govinda Madhava Navanida Taskara
Govinda Madhava Navnida Taskara
Sundarananda Gopala
Sundarananda Gopala
Sundarananda Gopala
Sundarananda Gopala
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanagara
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanagara.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara.
Rasarasiha Kripamoya.
Rasarasikra Kipamoya.
Rasarasiha Kripamoya.
Rasarasikra Kipamoya.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara.
Bhakti Vinodashaya.
Bansi Vinoda Ashaya.
Bhakti Vinodashaya.
Bhakti Vinoda Ashraya.
Yasomati Nandana Prajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana.
Yashomati Nandana Brajabaranagara Gokula Ranjana Kana.
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manogara Kaliya Damana Vidana.
Gopi Paranadana Madana Manohara Kaliyadamana Vidana.
Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa.
Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa.
Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa.
Amala Harinama Miya Vilasa.
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagarabara Vamsi
Vipina
Vadana Suvasa.
Vipina Purandara Navina Nagarabara Pansivadana Suvasa.
Brajajana Palana Surakula Nasana Nanda Godana Raghuvala.
Brajajana Palana Surakula Nasana Nanda Godana Rakovala.
Govinda Madhava Navanida Taskara Sundarananda Gopala.
Govinda Madhava Navanita Taskara Sundarananda Gopala.
Yamuna Dattachara Gopi Vasanagara Rasarasika Kripamoya.
Yamuna Tatachara Gopi Vasanahara Rasarasikra Kripamoya.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara Bhakti Vinodashaya.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara Bhakti Vinoda Ashaya.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natapara.
Shri Radha Vallabha Vrindavana Natavara.
Bhakti Vinoda Shraya.
Bhakti Vinoda Ashaya.
Translation. Lord Krishna is the beloved son of Mother Yasoda, the transcendental lover in land of Vraja, the delight of Gokul, Kana, a nickname of Krishna, the wealth of the life of the Gopis. He steals the mind of even Cupid and punishes the Kaliya serpent. These pure holy name of Lord Hari are full of sweet nectarian pastime. Krishna is the Lord of 12 forests of Vraja. He is ever youthful and is the best of lovers. He is always playing on a flute and he is an excellent dresser. Krishna is the protector of inhabitants of Braja, the destroyer of various demonic dynasties, the keeper and tender of Nanda Maharaja's cows, the giver and pleasure to the cows, land, and the spiritual senses, the husband of goddess of fortune, the butter thief, and beautiful Kahud boy of Nanda Maharaj. Krishna wandered along the bank of river Yamuna. He stole the garments of themselves of Braja who were bathing there. He delighted the mellow of rasa dance. He is very merciful, the lover and beloved of Srimati Radharani, the great dancer of Vrindavan, and the shelter of only refugee of Thakur Bhakti Vinoda.
Thank you very much, Tandavika Prabhu. Maharaj, you've already shared your screen, so the floor is all yours.
Hello, Hare Krishna.
Lunch.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj.
1 second. 1 second, I'm struggling with technology. I've got that. I go back to Zoom. Okay, push that button. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear you.
I can hear you too. Okay.
Good.
Krishna, 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 Rakshamam. Chapter 28. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear you.
Can you?
And we can see your screen as well. Chapter 28, yes.
Sir, Krishna rescues Nanda Maharaj from the abode of Varuna. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna brought Nanda Maharaj back from the abode of Varuna and how the cowherd men saw Vaikuntha. The king of the cowherd men, Nanda Maharaj, observed the prescribed fast on the 11th day of the lunar month and then considered how to break his fast properly on the 12th day. By a few minutes, he decided to take his bath at the very end of astrologically, that was an inauspicious time. Thus he entered the water of Yamuna. A servant of Varuna, the demigod of the ocean, noticed Nanda Maharaj entering the water at the forbidden time by the scripture. He took him away to the demigod's abode. In the early morning, the cowherd men unsuccessfully searched for Nanda. But Lord Krishna immediately understood the situation and went to see Varuna. Varuna worshipped Krishna with great variegated festivity. Afterwards, he begged the Lord to forgive his servant, having fully arrested the king of the cowherds. Nanda was amazed to see the influence of Sri Krishna exerted in the court of Varuna Dev, and after returning home, he described his experience to his friends and relatives. They all thought Krishna must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself and wanted to see his supreme abode. Thereafter, the omniscient personality of Godhead arranged for them to bathe in the same lake where Akura would have his vision of the absolute truth. There the Lord revealed to them Brahmaloka, which is realized by great sages in their mystic trance. Okay? Oh, and this is the actual chapter from the Krishna book. Okay. Let me see 1 second here if I can actually get the Krishna book to load up here. Almost. There it is. Okay, yeah. Namo Bhagavate. Okay, so that's a summary from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And, okay, we have the story. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead rescued his father and presented him before his friends, bringing them great jubilation. Nanda Maharaj was surprised that although the demigod was so opulent, he had offered such respect to Krishna. That was very astonishing to Nanda. And he began to describe the incident to his relatives and friends with great wonder. Although Krishna was acting so wonderfully, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda could not think of him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Instead, they always accepted him as their beloved child. This Nanda Maharaj did not accept the fact that Varuna had worshipped Krishna because he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, he took it that because Krishna was such a wonderful child, he had been respected even by Varuna. The friends of Nanda Maharaj, all the cowherd men, my goodness, okay. Yeah. Became eager to know if Krishna was actually the Supreme Personality and if he was going to give them all salvation. When they were all thus consulting amongst themselves, Krishna understood their minds, and in order to assure them of their destiny in the spiritual kingdom, he showed them the spiritual sky. Generally, ordinary persons are engaged simply in working hard in the material world, and they have no information that there is another kingdom or another sky, which is known as the spiritual sky, where life is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. As it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, a person returning to that spiritual sky never returns to this material world of death and suffering. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is always eager to give information to the conditioned soul that there is a spiritual sky far, far beyond this material sky, transcendental to the innumerable universes created within the total material energy. Krishna is, of course, always very kind to every conditioned soul, but as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, he is especially inclined to the pure devotees. Hearing their inquiries, Krishna immediately thought that his devotees in Vrindavan should be informed of the spiritual sky and the Vaikuntha planets therein. Within the material world, every conditioned soul is in the darkness of ignorance. This means that all conditioned souls are under the concept of bodily existence. Everyone is under the impression that he is of this material world, and with this concept of life, everyone is working in ignorance in different forms of life. The activities of the particular type of body are called karma, or fruitive action. And all conditioned souls, being under the impression of bodily concept, are working according to their particular type of body. These activities are creating future conditioned life. Because they have very little information of the spiritual world, they do not generally take to spiritual activities, which are called bhakti yoga. Those who successfully practice bhakti yoga go directly to the spiritual world after giving up this present body. And there they become situated in one of the Vaikuntha planets. The inhabitants of Vrindavan are all pure devotees. Their destination after quitting the body is Krishna Loka. They even surpass the Vaikuntha Lokas. The fact is that those who are always engaged in Krishna consciousness and mature, pure devotional service, pure devotional service are given the chance, mature in pure devotional service, are given the chance after death to gain a Krishna's association in one of the universes of the material world. Krishna's pastimes are continuously going on, either in this universe or in another universe, just as the sun globe is passing over many places across this earthly planet. So Krishna Lila, or the transcendental advent and pastimes of Krishna, are also going on continuously, either in this or another universe. The mature devotees who have completely executed Krishna consciousness are immediately transferred to the universe where Krishna is appearing. In that universe, the devotee gets their first opportunity to associate with Krishna personally and directly. The training goes on, as we see in the Vrindavan Leela of Krishna within this planet. Krishna therefore revealed the actual features of the Vaikuntha planets so that the inhabitants of Vrindavan could know their destination. Thus, Krishna showed them the ever-existing spiritual sky, which is unlimited and full of knowledge. Within this material world, there are different grades of forms, and according to the grade, knowledge is proportionally manifested. For example, the knowledge in the body of a child is not as perfect as the knowledge in the body of an adult. Everywhere there are different grades of living entities in aquatic animals and plants, trees, reptiles, insects, birds, beasts, and in the civilized and uncivilized forms of human life. Above the human form of life, there are demigods, charanas and siddhas, on up to Brahmaloka, where Lord Brahma lives. Among these demigods, there are always different grades of knowledge. But beyond this material world is the spiritual sky. Everyone is in full knowledge, and therefore all living entities are engaged in, devotional service to the Lord, either in the Vaikuntha planets or in the Krishna Loka. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, full knowledge means knowing Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead. In the Vedas and the Bhagavad Gita is also stated in the Brahmajyoti, spiritual sky, there is no need of sunlight, moonlight, or electricity. All the planets there are self-illumined, and all of them are eternally situated. There is no question of creation and annihilation in the Brahmajyoti, or spiritual sky. The Bhagavad Gita also confirms that beyond the material sky is another eternal sky, spiritual sky, where everything is eternally existing. Direct knowledge of that spiritual sky can be had only by great sages and saintly persons who have already surpassed the influence of the three material modes of nature by engaging in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Unless one is constantly situated on a transcendental platform, it is not possible to understand the spiritual nature. Therefore, it is recommended that one should take to Bhakti Yoga and keep himself engaged 24 hours a day in Krishna consciousness, which places one beyond the reach of the modes of material nature. One in Krishna consciousness can easily understand the nature of the spiritual sky and Vaikuntha Loka. The inhabitants of Vrindavan, being always engaged in Krishna consciousness, could therefore very easily understand the transcendental nature of the Vaikuntha Lokas. Thus, Krishna led all the cowherd men headed by Nanda Maharaj to the lake where Akrura would later be shown the Vaikuntha planetary system. They took their bath, and immediately they saw the real nature of the Vaikuntha Lokas. After seeing the spiritual sky in the Vaikuntha Lokas, all the men headed by Nanda Maharaj felt wonderfully blissful. And upon coming out of the lake, they saw Krishna, who was being worshipped with excellent prayers. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 28th chapter of Krishna, releasing Nanda Maharaj from the clutches of Varuna. Jai, so Prabhupada ki jai. So anybody have any impressions or thoughts while reading this besides the dog? Krishna, 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 Rakshamam.
Hare
If
Krishna
you have
Maharaj.
any questions, you can unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Nanda Vikedas. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Prabhupada.
I
So,
recognize.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So the Brajavasis accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord Maharaj at this point?
that's what's really confusing about this, because Prabhupada's talking about it one way one time, another way another time. But like it says in the very beginning, is that they weren't sure who Krishna was. You know, maybe he's this, maybe he's that, and then Bhargamuni says that. You know, but in the very beginning it says that Nanda Maharaj could never accept him as that, and he always thought of him as his son, little boy, and therefore he thought that Varuna, who was so powerful and opulent, was worshiping him just because he was such a charming little child. You know, yeah, it's very difficult for them. Because see, actually, Krishna is not the supreme personality of God. Or he just maybe adopts that role sometimes. You know? He's actually Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. But the whole thing is that Vrindavan, where they're carrying these things on, is original. It's real. Everything is effulgent. Like right now, look at your carpet or your table or something, and understand in Vaikuntha or Vrindavan, that carpet's alive. It's a person. It's in Shantaras, and it's participating with us in serving Krishna. Okay, let's do this, let's do that, and whatever else you see around is all alive. So if you have something which you don't want to share, a certain mentality, you don't want to look at other people because you have a certain mentality and don't want them to see you. You look away. But in Vaikuntha and Goloka, there's no place to look away to. Everything is, with a sincere desire to serve Krishna. Even the Shantaras, like the carpet, its desire is just to share with you how wonderful Krishna is. Isn't he wonderful? And appreciate, what's the word, like echoing back and forth, the appreciation for Krishna. And then Krishna becomes even more wonderful. Yes. So that's Vaikuntha, spiritual world, and that's Krishna. Krishna sometimes full of being Vishnu and these kinds of things. Let's say temporary, but it's a minor aspect of his character.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Nothing of it, so to be speaking.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Okay.
You said that everything is alive in Vrindavan. What about the things that Krishna eats, like butter and milk? Is that also a living thing?
That's always a problem. Yeah. But I guess they enjoy it.
It is living. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Everything is spiritual world is living, conscious, sentient. Okay. But it's in Shantaras. Like the flower garland. I mean, why go to food being chewed up by Krishna and whatever? But the flower garlands, so Upadesha Amrita directly says the cows in the flower garland. And Krishna's flute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Krishna catches his lips to the flute. Yeah.
So the flowers never deteriorate like they do here in our world?
Unless they want them. If they were for a certain purpose, but if a certain rasa of the flower garland gets old. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very, very difficult place because whatever you think of becomes reality. How would you like that? If all your thoughts became reality.
It's scary.
Yeah. Jayananda was a great devotee. One time we were drying pots in the kitchen in the evening, and everybody else, it was kind of the end of the day, everybody's gone before taking rest. And he said, "No, Hanuman, if people could see, if you had to live in my mind even for one day, you wouldn't like it." So every be greedy, selfish, stupid.
Yeah.
We're just going around like it's coming, and we keep this our civilized face on, But the more we hear about these pastimes of Krishna, they just start to become alive, heart, They just drive with it. Every time there's something new, about bizarre. Like you say, one time it says the Vrajbasis are all Krishna conscious. They just think Krishna is, they're beyond, like, but at the same time, who Krishna is going to show them their location in Vaikuntha. So maybe that's all part of their, they're relishing to pretend that they are, ordinary people, thinking about liberation and going to Vaikuntha. Even when you're in Vrindavan now, in Goloka, in Gokula, you go to Vrindavan, and you're talking to the Brijbasis, they're born there, Time you go to Brajlanda Parikram, where we go for a whole month walking. We stay in there, we were staying in like cow sheds and Brijbasi houses with dirt floors and stuff. And so they're just not ordinary people. People that work with them, they're just like, but what position then there's a real certain like fineness, about them. Born in Vrindavan and so on. So you can see right away it's not a, and then it's like most of the time they don't realize that they are Brijbasis. They're caught up in this thing with their family and this and that and everything else. Well, one story was we were near two stories, but one of them was we were like near Vrindakund, which is out near Nandagaon, and camping there. And that's the one. Vrindakund is the temple that Dinabandhu took over. Little ashram, tiny, not very big, where the pujari would stay, or maybe a little bit of something there, and then the little temple in Akunda. So was very, very wasn't being taken care of so much. So somehow or other the Pandit, the Babaji who was there, Brijbasi, he negotiated with Dinabandhu, and ISKCON took it over, and so on. And there was some complaints by some people, you're given into the hands of the Malechas and this kind of stuff, But in most cases, Brijbasis were, okay, let them do it, let them try. So anyway, we were there, and his another pujari was a younger person, maybe like 45, but whatever, healthy, was a pujari, and and then one devotee was traveling with us. I think he was British. He was a professional photographer. He was taking pictures the whole time, like very serious pictures with proper lighting and everything else. So he said, I want to go over and take pictures there. So I went with him and another devotee. And, all the devotees were in the schoolhouse in Nandagaon, down below there and stuff. We camped there, so no time. So maybe about a 10-minute walk, we got there. And the pujari was there, and it was the evening artik, an artik. They were taking pictures. And then there was a picture of the Babaji before, who'd been the pujari. Now, I think he left his body, finally. But it was like, just on the side of the altar, on the outside there, kind of glued up there, pasted up there, not even a frame. And then Brinda Devi was there. And so then the British devotee taking pictures. Then he kind of went to one angle where there was he got the little photograph and the picture of the deity, Brinda Devi, inside at the same time. He was taking the picture. And the Brijbasi pujari, the younger guy, said, get a picture of Baba with Vrinda. And it was just like, almost just intensely like it was just, they were both people that he knew, It was like, so I think several times they talk about Lala Lali, So just by hearing the Krishna book, and every time we get a chance to hear it, it penetrates the heart,
Yeah. Thank you for taking me to Vrindavan.
Thanks to the Prabhupada for taking us. So many devotees.
But
Are there any other questions? I think my dad has a question.
No, not comment.
Oh, comment. Sorry.
Krishna is still vegetarian, Maharaj, isn't it? He eats live milk and butter.
But he chews up carrots. Carrot sacrifice. Eat me. Krishna and the gopis are biting each other. Yeah. The whole thing, the spiritual sky is Vrindavan what's the word? So reactive. It's impossible to really, really our bodies are just so slow and dull, so we can, kind of like, carry on, with this level of consciousness. But, we wake up, we're so fast, Every single person is more powerful. No, every single Vaikuntha Basi, every single Vaikuntha Basi has more power than all the Indras in all the material worlds combined. You know. So we gotta get to work here to become purified. Okay. So thank you very much. It's been very nice reading the Krishna book.
Maharaj, Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Because of the milk being alive, that's why the whole Damodar Lila happened. It boiled over and Krishna has to do all the mischief.
My goodness. Wow. Yeah. And of course, there's many meanings to every single thing. Well, we've got to find our place. Wow. Okay, thank
Are
you.
there
Hare
any
Krishna.
other? I'm sorry, Maharaj, I didn't mean to cut you off. Please go ahead.
No, that's okay. Thank you. It's Hare Krishna. Go on now. Shiga Pranam.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So if there are no more questions, I will request Amit Daya to unmute himself so Ridhima and Ahana can sing the Nishinga prayers, and we can head out for the evening.
All right. Namaste Narasingaya.
Namaste Narasingaya.
Praladanathadaine.
Praladanathadaine.
Hiranyakashipurvaksha.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Ito Narsingho Parato Narsingho.
Ito Narsingho Parato Narsingho.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingho.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsingho.
Bahir Narsingho Hridaye Narsingho.
Bahir Narsingho Hridaye Narsingho.
Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade.
Narasingamadim Sharanam Prapade.
Tavakare Kamalavare Nakamadbhuta Shringam. Narita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare.
Tavakara Kamala Bare Nakamadhuta Shringam. Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanuvringam. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Jagadisha Hare.
Jaya Narsinga Dev, Jaya Narsinga Dev, Jaya Narsinga Dev, Jaya Narsinga Dev.
Jaya Narsinga Dev, Jaya Narsinga Dev, Jaya Narsinga Dev, Jaya Narsinga Dev.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Singh Bhagwan ki Jai. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Ridhima and Ahana. That was wonderful. And thank you, Amit Bhaiya. That was also wonderful. You're a great backup singer. Okay, everybody. So that's it for this evening. We'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Until then, Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
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 Hare Krishna.